Ni hao. Sorry, it's been a long time. YouTube has not been very nice to me, but now it's working. So let's go on with the homework. This is a homework for the past week, so the week of January 18th. It's too late because homework was due today, but at least I can go over the vocabularies for you to review with your kids later. So um, now we're moving on from nouns and verbs to more kind of support vocabulary where the usage is can be different from English. So instead of having a grammar section, I'm just going to talk about how you use each of the words. So the first word is gun. Gun means with. So uh, the vocabulary word that goes with it is gunchong. Chong means from, but gun, like when you're with someone, you're following them. So this is follow, and chong, you can see it looks like two people following each other, so it's easy to remember. Um, thing to remember about gun is the word order is different. Um, in English, you say, I go to the store with someone. So you do subject, verb, with the object. In Chinese, you put the with in the beginning, so you do subject with the object verb. So 我 跟你 with you 去买东西. So I'm going with you to buy something. So in Chinese, you put the with in the beginning of the sentence, not at the end of the sentence. So this is another example. 我跟朋友去游泳. I with friend go swimming. Or something you would say a lot. 跟我来 means with me come. So I've heard at least my children say 来跟我. So they're using the English word order, but not that anyone in China is not going to understand you. You're just going to sound funny. And then, so you just got to remember the word order, the gun, the with comes at the beginning of the sentence before the verb instead of after the verb. The next character is min, and this has both a meaning radical and a sound radical. This is a radical for person, and this, if you take out this radical, is a word for door, which we learned a few weeks ago, and that's pronounced min. So this tells you how it's pronounced, and this tells you what it means. Now, min doesn't have any direct translation in meaning in English, but what it does is take a pronoun and make it a verb. So 我 means I, and woman means we. Similarly, 你 is you, and 你们 is you, plural, and 他 is he, and 他们 is they. So it takes a pronoun, makes a plural. The next character is liang. Liang I went over a few weeks ago, and it's another way of saying two. So there are two ways of saying two. There's which is when you count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's liang if you're measuring something. So remember in Chinese, you have to have a measure word when before a noun. So there's always a measure word between the number and the noun. So 两个 So 两个学生, two students. You use 两 and not 二. Also 两 to say 200, 200. So different. The next question is Dian. The next character is Dian. Dian has 3 very common meanings. So this is a word that's used a lot. The first meaning means a dot, like literally like, oh, I have a dot on my face. Second meaning is a little. So a dot is small. So if you want to say a little, use Dian, and I'll go over an example later. And the last word is to mean o'clock, the way we use o'clock in English, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. So for example, 点心 is dim sum, and that's the Mandarin way of saying dim sum, 点心, and people translate it as a little bit of heart or a dot of heart. So xing is heart, and that's how you say dim sum. And if you want to say a little, you can say 一点. If you want to say a teeny tiny bit, you say 一点点. So if someone asks you, do you speak Chinese? You can say 一点点, 一点点, a very little tiny bit. And the next meaning of the word dian is o'clock. So san, which is 3, san dian is 3 o'clock. And if you want to say 3:30, you say 3:30. Ban is half. That means 3:30. So 2点 would be 2 o'clock. 5点 is 5 o'clock. So 点 is o'clock. The next character is 写. 写 means to write. And the vocabulary word that goes with it is 写字. So write a word. In the bottom of every page of the vocabulary, you see 写句子. You always see that. It means write a sentence. Now, in this week's homework, they have to write a short letter where the first part is written in, and the second part, the kids have to fill in. So there's a translation in the front of the homework where the teachers explain the homework. But I thought I'd share with you a word-for-word translation. So if you're wondering, try to figure out what word goes in English goes with what word in Chinese, sometimes it's not that clear. The first says ni hao, that means hello, and they have to fill in the name of a person. And what I put here is, in Chinese, two characters together can mean something different than just one character by itself. In Chinese, there's no different spacing between two characters that go together and two characters that don't go together. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes 3, sometimes it's 4 characters. And if you're not a native language speaker, it's not always readily apparent which characters go together to make a different word. So here I underlined words that go together, so it's a lot easier to understand how it directly translates into English. So 我最好的朋友是 it means I 最 means most, how, best, so good, so most good, so it's best. 的 indicates possessive. 朋友 friend is. So it means my best friend is, and you can see it's very different. You say I best possessive friend is. The next sentence is 我们两个人都 woman, we, 两个 two, people, all. The next sentence is 有时候我们会 有 have 时候 time. So sometimes 我们 we 会 will fill in the sentence. Next sentence 我喜欢跟他 喜欢 means to like. I like with him or her. So in Chinese, him and her is pronounced the same. Ta. And when you write it down, you can sometimes use this radical for a male and this radical for female. And if you don't know whether it's male or female, then you can just use the male one. So 我喜欢跟他 and then you have to write it in. And 也喜欢跟他 also like with him, her, and then you have to fill in the verb. So same as before, ta, 2 ways to write it, male way or the female way, it's pronounced the same. And at the bottom, something you should be familiar with, it says 画画, which literally means to draw a drawing. So it can be a verb and a noun, and together it means to draw something. So that's it. As the homework gets more involved, the podcast is going to be longer. I'm sorry. I'm trying to explain things as quickly as possible, but hopefully you'll learn a little bit about Chinese. Thanks. Until next time.